We're live. Hey guys, welcome to our live spoiler-filled review of Luke Cage, the series on Netflix. And with me today, of course, is our Comic Crunch crew. Started off with Charles. How's it going, man?
Doing pretty good, and I loved Luke Cage. I thought it was,
Oh,
I,
I like to hear that.
yeah, I thought it was better than Jessica Jones, but not as good as Daredevil. But it was still fantastic.
Okay, how about you, Buddha?
The same thing. I thoroughly enjoyed the flow, everything that went on. The music was good. I really enjoyed the jazz music more. I'm not a big Wu-Tang fan, but it still flowed good in the show. And I was a little underwhelmed with the hallway scene.
Um, Okay, so I guess I should put my thoughts down since everybody just kind of flew through. I definitely enjoyed it. Jessica Jones is the worst show of all the Netflix shows. Period.
Oh
Um,
yeah, we
this
could agree there.
is better than season 2 of Daredevil, and I liked it. Season 1, I think, just takes the cake because of Kingpin. Kingpin was absolutely fantastic. But I agree with you. That it's a good flow. The hallway fight scene. The only reason why I disagree with you, I think it's because when you think about it, the Daredevil one is more fun because he has to do more. Luke Cage literally just got to walk in and go like this, like this. So, in a sense, it's not going to give you the same ante, I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
yeah. But I absolutely enjoyed it. So, okay. So, who are your favorite characters in the show? Who are your I'll say name your top favorite characters and your least favorite characters. I'll start off with you, Luke.
I really enjoyed Juice, aka Shades.
Okay.
I like Shades a lot. Luke Cage was good. Kind of sucks that Pops had to go out so quickly. I was really liking Pops.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay.
And least was the lady.
Oh, Misty Knight.
No, Misty was okay. She was a little annoying at times, but I get where she was coming from. The other one, Cornell's
Oh,
cousin.
Cornell's cousin.
Oh, but the
Maria.
actor,
Her name was Maria.
Oh yeah.
the actor who played Cottonmouth needs a fucking Emmy because dude was on point. That laughter was the shit. Too bad he had to die because I would have loved to see him come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Cut him out was on point. All right. So your least favorite was Maria. Anyone else, or just Maria herself?
That Maria towards the end, the way she was like all whiny and shit, and I didn't like Nickelback or Diamondback because homie was crazy.
Oh, okay. All right. How about you, Charles?
I would have to say that my favorite character would have to be a tie between Cottonmouth and also, well, Luke Cage. It would have to be a tie between the two of them. I thought Cottonmouth was a much better villain than Diamondback. Diamondback, I would have to say, is among my least favorite. So it'd be like a tie between Diamondback and Maria, because, like Lou said, Maria was a bit whiny, and she seemed to be a bit naive to the reality of what was going on. She thought that she'd be able to easily get out of that whole life, and everybody was like, "No, you're in, and you're staying in," and that thing. And I just thought that she was a little naive and stupid, and I just didn't care for her character. I didn't care about her interactions. Shades, I didn't love or hate. I'm indifferent towards him. I would have to say he's somewhere in the middle. And then, I don't know. I mean, Pops I loved, and I am a little annoyed that he was killed off in the second episode. That kind of irritated the hell out of me.
But yeah, he was the driving force. He had to go.
Yeah.
You do realize that he was the Uncle Ben of this show.
Oh God.
Yeah, but a more balanced one. He ran Switzerland.
Oh yeah, he was more balanced and all that, but it was more like the Uncle Ben moment that finally got Peter to become Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, for me, my favorite characters were Luke, Cottonmouth, and Diamondback. I liked Diamondback. I like crazy, so Diamondback's craziness was good because to me, he came in as that kind of person that literally was a mini Joker. He would just do whatever he wanted, and that was good.
The thing with Diamondback is he had daddy issues.
Oh no,
he really did.
No, it's fine. He had daddy issues. At least, see, to me, it's if you look, villains have to have something to connect them. Cottonmouth wanted control. He had daddy issues. Maria had the weakest, but I don't consider her whiny. I consider her being the opposite of Cottonmouth. She was the bad girl who was told to be good, and Cottonmouth was the good boy who became bad. Because you look at the backstory, he wanted to just play the piano and all that. I think the way they wrote her in that middle arc, they didn't do a good job there because they could have written her to spin where she fully awakes and she's like, I'm supposed to be a bad guy. But they did this. They try to do that too much. Yeah.
I've noticed a trend with them though, with the way Marvel does these Netflix series. Like the first 5 episodes, you get one arc with one villain, and then the back half, it's introduced to the other villain. So there's like always 2 villains in their series now.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem. Sorry, that's the problem. There is, to me, when I did the non-spoiler review, the first 7 episodes were tight, and then the other half was murky because they brought in Cottonmouth. They had Maria come up. They had Shades in there too. I didn't like Shades that much. I like the actor. The reason why I didn't like Shades is I was not afraid of Shades. There was no fear. When Luke Cage was like, Shades, the first time he saw him, I looked at the dude, I was like, really?
Well, you knew why he was scared of him when you see the backstory.
Even with the backstory, I was not afraid because in the backstory, he wasn't afraid of Shades. That's why I wasn't afraid of Shades also. Like Shades is not.
But he was afraid of Shades. I felt that he was afraid of Shades for blowing his cover, not like in a fight, because he knew he handled them in prison easily.
I mean, yeah, but the way they made it feel was like Shades was, even when Shades was walking around, like his intro look, he tried to be tough, but the actor just didn't look or feel tough to me at all. Like I didn't look at him and go, I was like, okay, Cottonmouth, yeah. Like I don't want to hang around Cottonmouth. I mean, at all. Like to me, it was Cottonmouth, right? Yeah, he's not crazy like Diamondback. Like those two, I don't want to hang around both of them because Cottonmouth will still kill me. Diamondback will do whatever he wants to do at that point. Shades, I like, really, dude? Okay, you're the whisperer. He's like the little snake. But even his slyness was not like, it was just kind of like, I think the actor just didn't fit the role. He's a good actor, but for Shades, I just didn't see him in that role.
He fit the role to me because he played his character from Sons of Anarchy kind of went through that transition in the final half of his arc, going from season 4, 5, 6, and 7. Kind of fit this one where he was more of the mellow gangster who just, you know what? He knew his shit, but when he needed to kill you, he killed you because you saw it. He killed easily with no hesitation.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, like I said, it was just one of those things where it was a little bit, like he was fine. He wasn't terrible, but he was, to me, I wanted somebody else who, when I had Shades, I would be like, I don't trust this dude. Like I was like,
But he fitted perfectly because he backstabbed Cottonmouth. He was on his way to kill him when the cousin ended up doing it.
Yeah, I know, but like I said, as an audience, I just was like, yeah, I could care less. I really could care less about Shades and like just move him away, and then I want to see someone. That's why I say for me, when I see a villain, they have to always give me something, on screen. So Shades was just one of those where I was like, to me just didn't fit at all.
But I look at it like this: all hell's going to break loose when Wilson Fisk is out of prison.
Oh yeah, but okay,
he's going to take over.
No, so this is the part that I liked about the show. I don't know if you guys noticed this. They did a much better job in tying all the shows with characters.
Oh yeah.
Than say Jessica Jones. They tried to, was a little forced. Daredevil season 2 a little bit too is that. So Wilson Fisk lawyer was also the lawyer for Cottonmouth. They had a few other people and a couple mentions here and there that tied in. Yeah, especially Turk coming. Turk was a punching bag, man.
Turk was cool, man. He was cool as ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say in regards to Turk, that scene where Cottonmouth threw his like one of his cronies off the roof because
Yeah.
he
Killed off.
acted with initiative. Yeah, when he acted with initiative. Yeah, Turk just he did. This is not exactly what he said, but paraphrasing, it said it's like, man, you guys are crazy. I'm going to go back to Hell's Kitchen where it's safe. And I busted out laughing when he said that. I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. It's funny, because Warren was watching it yesterday, and he sent me a text. He's like, "Hell's Kitchen ain't safe." I mean, you got Jessica Jones and Daredevil, let alone Punisher, like running through. So I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, no, definitely that was on point. All right, so what do you think about? Do you think they handle his power levels well, Luke Cage, throughout the show?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they handle his power levels pretty good. When it comes to Luke Cage, this is kind of embarrassing, but the only way I was only able to find out about Luke Cage from an old video game called Marvel Ultimate Alliance. He was one of the characters you could play as. And when I did a little bit of research on Luke Cage after playing the game, and I know a little bit about his origin story. I know that he was in prison. I know he got his powers from a rogue science experiment in that prison. But beyond that, I barely knew anything about him. So from what I've gathered, I thought they played his powers quite well. Now, as it compares to the comics, I have no idea. I would have to go buy comics and read up on it, and I don't know if I'm going to do that.
In terms of his power levels, I mean, he's much stronger than what he is in the show. But I think they did a good balance, even though to me, it was like they brought it down kind of like to fit the show. Mm-hmm. But when they brought it down, they didn't make him too weak, because sometimes Marvel tends to do that. Lou knows I complain all the time. I'm like, Thor is more stronger than that crap, stuff like that. But the one thing I liked was the bullet, and how at least they explained that it's an alien material, so that gives you an excuse for it to work. It's not like some regular bullet. So I was like, okay, fine, I can accept that as being something that works, against him as a story plot.
It's like Luke Cage's kryptonite, kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you can just give me a nice brief explanation and say, okay, this is why the bullet works, and you're like, all right, fine. That's good. What else did you like in the show, Lou?
Let's see. I mean, the whole show overall, like I said, I enjoyed the music. The music was good. I like the nightclub feel.
That was an excuse to have a different artist in every episode.
That too, they also had the fact that it had a different. The jokes hit when they did do a little comedy. It wasn't a lot overbearing or anything. It just, the story to me just flowed. I like the way they did his origin in that particular episode and a half, in a way.
So episode number 4. That was the origin. That episode 4, and then they kind of continued later on when he met the scientist in like episode 7 or 8. I think.
Well, remember, it started when the building came down on him.
That was end of 3, but then 4 was the main episode itself. Yeah.
And then I found the scientist to be very creepy.
Yeah, I mean, he was trying to play it off like he was just doing his job. But, really, I mean, I think what's a little sad was also the fact that his wife, to me, that was the best emotional moment in the show, where, he's watching those videotapes of his wife, and he's realizing, I didn't know this woman at all. She basically set me up the whole time.
Yeah, but that's a woman for you.
Wow. I'm sorry, ladies. Don't listen to Buddha Rod. Just don't even try that. No.
I see. The doctor did not come off as creepy to me. I mean, I kind of understand his point of view. He was doing his job, and it just didn't come off as creepy to me. I mean, that's about all I got to say on that.
His job, that he decides to take Diamond back and try to use this experiment on a fucking psychopath. He should vet his guys a little bit better, because you're gonna put this super serum in the fucking psychopath that's just gonna wreak havoc across the world.
Yeah, I mean Diamondback definitely coming back. He don't need no suit for part two.
Oh, that suit was horrible.
The suit was about as much as I would expect for a Netflix show. I'm not expecting high quality like something similar to like Thor's outfit or Iron Man or Captain
Actually,
America.
the suit, I actually like the suit. Like after 2 seconds of thinking about it, I like the suit for two reasons. Number one, it actually it mirrors Diamondback's original outfit in the comic books. Number two, it's made by Justin Hammer, and all his crap looks like that. So it literally was like when you see Hammer Tech, and I was like, yeah. I mean, we've seen the stuff that he did in Iron Man 2 and how he makes stuff. It's never really, it's not Tony Stark level quality. So I kind of looked at it as like, yeah, they were going to make a cheaper suit, but then using Hammer kind of just put it in that framework of like, yeah. No wonder Luke Cage beating that damn.
And then, well, like this, I found a little bit of issues with some of the editing. Dude, I'm sorry, bro. When you pick up a freaking cell phone and you're making it look like he's on a call, put the dialer up at least. Not the freaking home screen and the man is just talking like he's on the other line with someone else.
Yeah,
dude, that irks me a lot in a lot of shows.
You know, the other one, Warren mentioned that. Actually, Warren mentioned that. To me, okay, you think that was bad? Let me tell you what was worse. Remember when they were trying to take the bullet, the shrapnel out of his body? They put him in the acid bath. They only took it out from his shoulder.
But yet they cleared
took it out. They took him out of its gut, the first bullet that went in. They didn't get the one from his shoulder.
No, it was his shoulder. That was the first one.
She went into the shoulder.
Yeah,
no, it was the gut.
No, it was
shoulder.
Because remember, he pulled the stuff to the left-hand side. She sat down and started pulling it out. That was it. They never.
It was the shoulder. She started off on the shoulder, and then they ended it. See, the fucked up thing was they go into shoulder, but on the little X-ray machine, they're showing you the gut.
Yeah, because remember the first time they dipped him into the acid bath, and they brought him out. He tried to use the scalpel, and then he broke. He's like, "I told you, it was too early." Then he dropped him in again, and they're trying to figure out like, what temperature and all that stuff. And then when they finally got it right, they went straight to the shoulder, and I was like, editing. So yeah, there were a couple of things in there. I didn't like episode 4. I didn't like the origin story. I didn't like that episode itself because the way they were doing
You're not the only one.
Yeah?
You're not the only one. Someone here didn't like it neither.
Yeah.
He thought it was too slow.
The way they did the flashbacks, the editing of the flashbacks and the, him going back to underneath the rubble, it just didn't feel right. Like to me, it was a weird jarring juxtaposition. Like I get it. You're trying to do like he's underneath there. To me, what they should have done was while he was unconscious from the beginning, do the whole episode. He wakes up and then he powers up and gets the hell out of there. That would have been much, much better.
Yeah.
But, for the sake of storytelling, they didn't go that route.
Yeah, the whole episode involving the flashbacks was just, like you said, Lou, and like I said during our other discussion, it was just too slow. The pacing was way off.
Yeah, that was one where I didn't like it. And then what is up with Marvel characters? I'm tired. I am sick and tired of Marvel characters going, "Oh, woe is me." Luke Cage is afraid of going back to prison. You, who is indestructible, is afraid of going back to prison. Something's wrong with you, bro. See, that's why I liked when Claire, Rosario Dawson's character, was like, "Come on, man, you are look, get off, stop it, just don't do this."
I think his problem with going back to prison was it breaks him mentally, and he didn't want to get broken again.
No, but see, the thing is that it didn't play off that way, And again, also they showed him as a character who was mentally strong, but there were just certain things he wasn't willing to make that leap forward on, which is why he was doing the woe is me. And I'm going, okay, I get it, but literally, you have to look at it that you are stronger than Captain America. So, what again are you complaining about?
I mean, is he stronger than Captain America?
Oh,
yeah.
In the comic books, by far. Even in this show, by far, he's still stronger than Captain America.
Yeah, because I know Captain America isn't bulletproof. He can still
he can get
shot
shot
by a bullet.
Yeah, plus
Yeah.
plus Captain America is definitely not rocket proof either.
No.
Yeah, because literally when that rocket launcher hit his back and probably bounced off and then exploded when it came into the I love that scene because I'm not sure. I was arguing with Warren yesterday. Warren said Cottonmouth didn't know he had powers. I was like, I think Cottonmouth started hearing stuff about him in terms of powers, and he was just like, I like the fact that Cottonmouth just said, look, let me just deal with this once and for all, not go in there, try and shoot. He just went up with a rocket launcher. It's like, I would just take the whole building down. I was like, okay, that is a true bad guy approach where you're like, you know what, let's just clean this. No need to talk, ask questions.
That's why I felt bad for him when he died, man. He fucking dies a coward's death.
Yeah, I
gets
thought
pushed out a window and then gets mic stand. Dude, homie needed to go out like a G. Take a bullet.
I
to the
agree.
head.
See, I think that was the one problem with the show is that if you are going to do that and transition his cousin to being a villain, at that point was where she should have gone, like her old self should have come back. Not, you know, at that point where she did that, even though she felt remorse, she should have been like, I had to do it, you know? Like, you know, this is what mama, how, you know, that grandmother of theirs was terrible, by the way.
Mama May?
Mama May was not a good woman at all. I mean,
Samuel L. Jackson's wife.
Yeah. See how she just chopped that kid's finger off
for talking shit,
and then they beat him up in the basement, or chucked him off in the window, whatever they did. You remember what she said? It's like, take him out of here. I got white folks in the other room, man. They want to be hearing this crap. I was like, ouch. Oh man, does she? I mean, that was a good backstory exposition, especially for Cottonmouth. Like, you got to understand his character properly. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But how did you feel about the use of the N-word? I felt that it flowed perfectly in this series.
It did, because it was one of those where they juxtaposed it with, it was like, especially in the first couple episodes, it was Cottonmouth and then Luke. Luke was always the one always reminding you about not using the word. And the way Cottonmouth used it was to demean and also to set a tone for himself. So it really was that you had two sides of the word between both of them.
Oh, but then also, Mary or Maria?
Maria, the sister.
When she used it in the police station, she's like, "Niggas be stealing all the time."
Yeah, she just went off completely, and I mean, I think as a show, it was one where maybe a lot of people were afraid of how it would come out, but I think the balance of how it was used was well done. To portray it portrayed certain people, and you know, if you want to look at the show as being, especially with Cottonmouth and Luke Cage, as being yin yang almost, especially for those first 7 episodes, that even the use of the word there played the same way all the way through. So I was fine with it. I was like, okay, you guys used it well, and you know, there was good balance. It wasn't one of those where you felt like they were forcing you to say not say, and then they were overusing it and what, you know, like. You know, what's his name? What's the Quentin Tarantino movie where
Django?
Django, and the other way it was just used all the way through, and I was like, I get what you're trying to do, Quentin, but yeah, you know, it was all right. It was fine. What was I going to say? The other thing. Okay, Misty Knight.
What about Miss Coffee?
Her arc. Okay, yeah, the use of coffee was interesting. The fact that every woman knew what going out for coffee meant. And I remember when Luke Cage asked Rosario Dawson's character Claire, she's like, "I want to take you out for coffee," and she's like, "Man, you don't even drink coffee, and I'm not sleeping with you."
And that's when it was used perfectly.
And by the end of the season, we get to see that Claire was actually willing to sleep with Luke.
She's like,
she wanted to give him that spicy Cuban coffee.
That. I mean, let's look at Claire, for example, right? Claire started off in Daredevil season 1, right? Mm-hmm. She was hanging out with Matt Murdock. They hooked up. He didn't want to date her because he was doing his, again, Marvel woe is me, whole routine. And then he goes up to help Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. And Jessica, she's like, okay, Jessica and Luke are dating. But one thing I liked about Claire is that her character really has grown from all the shows.
Oh yeah,
that
I agree.
So watching her come into this show, she knows what's up. She knows what to do. There was no complaining. There's no whining. There was no, and she understands better than most other people too. What's happening and how things are going. So I like the fact that her character had that status. But then, because part of the comic book fans would go, oh, eventually Luke Cage and Jessica Jones get married. I'm fine because I don't like Jessica Jones. I'd rather have Luke Cage be with Claire, someone who has some common sense, so that whenever they write it that he needs to be like, woe is me again, she can always bring him back.
Look, I'm not gonna crap on Jessica Jones. Yeah, her season 1 would have been a lot worse if it didn't have Luke Cage in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what they tried to do. Maybe they shouldn't have used the villain as the Purple Man for the first season.
No, but see, Purple Man was a good villain. The problem,
he was a good villain, but the execution of the way her story was portrayed was shitty. They should have went a different route.
Yeah, I mean, look, they wanted to portray Jessica Jones as the victim. That was the idea of the show. Jessica Jones that I like is Jessica Jones who knew she was a victim, but was not going to be a victim.
Uh-huh.
That was two different things. So, to me, it was, this is the telling part. It was Jessica Jones and then Supergirl came out at the same time. Even though Supergirl, in terms of production quality and writing, was worse, Supergirl had a better audience pickup because at the end of the day, it was, remember, Supergirl was also showing, I am better than my cousin, so I'm stronger. Jessica Jones did not show that in her show. We knew she was strong. We didn't know she was stronger.
They held her down too far.
Yeah, and that was the thing. So,
and then her whininess, like, see, I get it. You're the victim. But then when you decide to finally say you're not the victim anymore, it was a little too late.
Yeah, the arc was too slow, to Charles's point where it's like, yeah, the things that run slow. I think that's what Marvel does, is that, especially in the shows, they have a certain tight arc at the very beginning and things start to slow down in the middle. Because even that happened in Luke Cage. I don't know how you guys felt about the middle episodes, but it felt like the writers lost their way a little bit.
How'd you like the Method Man scene?
Oh, that was funny. That was, to me, in a sense, that was like the one part where I thought Method Man really was fanboying, especially when he just grabbed the
shirt,
hoodie.
the
hoodie. It's like, yeah. That was like a good fanboy moment. It was not necessarily Method Man. It was almost like for us as fans, like if you were there when the superhero showed up, that's the kind of thing that you would experience altogether. But even that scene with these two criminals, they're like, "Oh, it's you." The guy's like, "It's like phone." He was pointing his gun at him. He's like, I was like, "Yeah, this is what Luke Cage does well." So that was good. That was good. Although that whole scene with where people were wearing the hooded T-shirts around in Harlem, I was like, yeah, that's cool. But in today's day and age, cops might just shoot you immediately and think you're bulletproof. So I would not walk around the city with that hoodie with bullet holes in there. I wouldn't do that. But
I'm a little shocked you're not wearing your hoodie.
I was. Yeah. No, I woke up, so I was just like. I did get a reference for that yesterday, though. It was funny. It was my cousin's birthday, so I went to his house party and I walked in, and this dude was like, "Man, you look like Luke Cage." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I was going for." that was just all I was going for. I was hoping for just one person to recognize. I was like, "Yes,
you got your wish."
Yeah.
But no, I thought, see, to me, Daredevil runs good if you watch season 1 and 2 together. Then it makes that whole arc even better. And then I rank Luke Cage right underneath it. and then Jessica Jones at the tail end because her series was just too slow. They had so much potential to do something well with a female character who was strong. And granted, she was the first one out the gate.
Yeah,
Granted, it may be Netflix.
Yeah, we can discuss that, but yeah. Any final thoughts, Charles? Anything? Just thoughts to summarize Luke Cage.
Well, with Luke Cage, I will say this one thing I wanted to drop in earlier, but I didn't have the chance. Prior to watching Luke Cage, and after finding out that the score for the show was going to be primarily hip hop, I was a little concerned that I would not like the show, because the score for a show or a movie is what really draws me into it and immerses me in the story. But after watching Luke Cage, I have developed a new appreciation for hip hop, just because the score was that good. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the music in the show.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to go out and like buy a few hip hop albums. I'm not going to do that. But if I'm like listening to the radio one day and it pops on, I'll listen to it, and I might bop my head to it a little bit.
All right, cool.
Okay, but to your point there, Charles, it has to be
old school though.
The old hip hop, because that new shit that we got now, that's just horrible.
No, see, and that's why I think that's why you appreciate it more, because a lot of stuff nowadays is just kind of off, and the new, I mean, the old stuff. So, like what I liked, you're definitely right with the music. What I liked with the music, you know, the intro music was a little, jazzy, you know, old Harlem Renaissance, and then, you know, even like, you know, I know, like you were saying, yeah, you don't like Wu-Tang, but like that hallway scene fit with, you know, the Wu-Tang track, you know.
It did.
They did. I think what you're right, Charles. They did one thing they did well in the show with music was, anytime it started feeling slow for me, they always interjected some track in there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, you know, like I'm waiting for even though something never really happened, but maybe Luke just smacked somebody and that was it. But you get that feeling from the music that, you know, okay, it's time to move up pace. Let's move things on. So yeah, definitely right. But anything else you want to add before we round up, Charles?
I will say Luke Cage was fantastic. Can't wait for season 2, although we're not getting season 2 until after Defenders, correct?
Yeah.
Most likely 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Okay. All right, then. Well, aside from everything that I've said, I don't really have anything else to say other than Luke Cage was awesome, and I can't wait to see his return in the Defenders.
Cool. How about you, Lou?
Yeah.
Same thing, you know. It was a great show. I enjoyed it from start to finish. It was worth the 12-hour binge I did Friday and then finished it off yesterday. I you know, had no issues with it, and I didn't really feel like it had slow points. I don't know. To me, it just felt like everything clicked perfectly. I liked the introduction of Misty at the end in the nightclub with her hair all high. I was kind of hoping she would have at least had her gold arm by then, but
that's a bionic arm, though. She has to lose an arm first.
But see, they set it up for her to lose the arm when she got the bullet that hit her artery.
Yeah, but they didn't do it. So,
so I'm thinking either the arm is going to start to give her problems in the Defenders, because she's supposed to be in the Defenders, or will they save it for another season?
To your theory, Lou, they could end up having it bother her in the Defenders, which could be like nerve damage starting to take effect, like she's starting to lose the movements in her fingers or something, and then the nerve damage gets progressively worse. Then they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we're going to have to cut it off," and then maybe maybe Tony Stark comes in and says, like, "Hey, here's your new bionic arm."
Here's the good thing: they built her so well that I honestly feel she could carry her own show.
No. I disagree on that aspect. I mean, they built her well in the fact that even though, you know, she's a superhero, in the show they showcase one of her powers. You know, the way she perceives a scene. You know,
the picture.
So that I really liked. I really liked the fact that at least for her, the one thing I'll say with Misty and also the two, even Maria, with all the female characters, right? even though yes, to some point, you guys like Maria's a little whiny, but all of them still had strength. Like even Maria in her whininess, like she just didn't. She wouldn't stop there and be like, okay, woe is me. She would be like, okay, I need to do something, or here are the steps I'm going to take. And same thing with Misty, same thing with Claire. So all the female characters were, I hate to bring it Jessica Jones again, were better than Jessica Jones, if you want to put it that way.
But you know what, though? Speaking on Claire, I think this particular season of Luke Cage really built up on her.
Oh, yeah. Because
I like
remember,
what they did.
She is now the love interest of Luke Cage. They've moved her away from Daredevil and brought her there. And, the whole time they were talking about, she kept on mentioning, I have a good lawyer. I thought I was going to see, what's his name?
Foggy.
I thought I was going to see Foggy at some point because she'd been mentioning a lawyer for a long time. I was like,
I know.
I was like, Foggy,
now. Did we see Luke Cage being released from prison in The Defenders, like the first few episodes? Because Homeboy picked up the file, the little accordion file. So now he has all the paperwork to get him free.
Oh yeah. Oh no, they have to. Do you guys noticed the mentions of so Luke Cage in the comic book, his title is Hero for Hire. That's his that's the tagline. And he was always a hero for hire. Like people would pay him to do things, not necessarily like pay him for protection, but like pay him to save someone or to save a shipment or whatever the case may be. And he and what's his name?
Danny Rand,
aka Iron Fist, work together. So I like they were dropping that a lot, especially like, dude, you're big enough, we will pay you. We're glad, that kind of thing. Where maybe when he comes back, that's something he might try to do. And then because Claire is a connection to the Defenders. That's pretty much what it is.
She's probably going to be the one that's going to unite the
because
crew.
Claire is taking martial art classes with Danny Rand, who of course is dating Luke Cage. Therefore, they both meet. Then Claire knows Daredevil, and she also knows Jessica Jones. So, and she's easy enough to. She wants to call at least the lawyers anytime, any day of the week. So at least we know she would do that. So I think you're right. She's the one that will bring everyone together.
And I see how Pop's building is going to play into effect in the Defenders.
What do you think Pop's building is going to be? Do you think
it's going to become the Hero for Hire's establishment?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it was going to become the location where I don't know if it would say Heroes for Hire on the actual like sign for the building, but it would be converted into their meeting place where whenever somebody needs help, they go there, talk to one of the heroes, they pay them, they go in and save the day. That kind of thing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I first thought it might be a bar again, but I was like, nah, he won't make it a bar because, Pops also had kids in there. So you're definitely right. I think the Heroes for Hire might be
more of the spot.
More of the spot, yeah, there. No, that was good. I feel like I'm missing something else.
I stuck around all the way to the end to see if we got a little an Iron Fist logo or something. But this week, Iron Fist trailer, New York Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm not going. Don't tell me about it. I don't.
Well, okay, you don't have to go, but we'll at least have some trailer reactions because we're going to have Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah, that's
War
true.
for the Planet of the Apes. The Iron Fist. There might be another Defenders tease.
Maybe also I think final trailer for Doctor Strange.
You think so?
Wait,
we got a 1 minute TV spot.
Yeah, that TV spot was still good.
Yeah.
Did you say we were going to get a trailer for War for the Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, because I just recently watched those two movies. I watched them like about a week ago. So I'm like, I have Planet of the Apes on the brain right now.
We're getting that trailer. We're getting the Iron Fist trailer. We might get a Power Rangers trailer finally.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
I'm looking forward to that.
Remember, this is the last Comic-Con that's major of the year.
Yeah, it's gonna be wow.
This is gonna be. They're gonna drop some little nuggets out of that thing, and don't worry, we'll be here to cover it.
Yeah. All right, guys.
Yep.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Appreciate it. I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the show. I'm glad that Charles got some appreciation for hip hop, and we'll be bobbing his head to some old school stuff, not new school, because we all know how that sucks.
Beyond sucks.
And thanks again for chiming in, Lou. But Sweet Christmas, no call. Oh my! I just saw your lower third. You are so useless. All right, guys.
How's that useless? Oh, dude, the Marshalls ruined his chances, man. And he goes, man, I finally had some good coffee lined up, and you guys ruined it for me.
You know what? Speaking of which, before we round up, I love the fact that Claire was calling his lines corny. I did not Claire. Yeah, Claire. Claire was like, "Yeah, that is just corny, man." Straight up. See, to me, this is one thing I liked about Luke Cage compared to other Marvel movies. The jokes were not corny. They flowed. Yeah, and even the corny stuff was done deliberate so that it's actually being corny, not necessarily. That's why I said Doctor Strange trailer when the bad guy says you are Mr. Strange, Mr. Doctor. I was like, come on, guys, I'm gonna fill in that. So this is a good way of actually writing jokes in because. But anyway, all right, guys, thank you very much. Like and share, subscribe to the channel, join us again. We'll have Comic Crunch on Thursday, 3 p.m. There'll be lots of trailers this week, so stay tuned for reactions and always enjoy your entertainment.
Bye-bye.